What if everything you've ever known, your thoughts, your body, even time itself, wasn't as real as you believe? The holographic universe theory, explored by Michael Talbot, suggests that our reality is not solid, but a vast projection originating from a deeper, more fundamental level of existence. Inspired by the works of David Bohm in quantum physics and Carl Pribram in neuroscience, this model proposes that our perception of a three-dimensional world is similar to how a hologram works, a detailed illusion encoded in a field of frequency and energy. If this is true, then what we call reality is simply our consciousness decoding vibrational patterns into something we can understand. This idea is not just theoretical, it has practical implications. If the universe operates like a hologram, then everything is connected at a fundamental level, meaning consciousness itself plays a role in shaping what we perceive. Think about lucid dreaming, where individuals realize they are dreaming and can alter their environment. This phenomenon suggests that, just as a dream feels real while you're inside it, waking life might also be a construct of perception. Near-death experiences and reports of out-of-body states further support this notion, hinting at a multidimensional reality where time and space behave differently than we assume. If reality is indeed a projection, what does that say about the limits of human potential? Could reality manifestation be more than just a mystical concept, but an actual function of how our minds interact with the field of universal interconnectedness? This opens doors to extraordinary possibilities, self-healing, enhanced intuition, and even experiences that defy conventional science, such as psychic phenomena and telepathy. But if everything is connected, then how do we explain the tangible separations between people, objects, and events? That's where quantum entanglement enters the conversation. Quantum entanglement and the interconnectedness of all things. If you think distance separates things, quantum entanglement is here to tell you otherwise. This mind-bending concept, confirmed by quantum physics, suggests that two particles can be intimately connected no matter how far apart they are. What happens to one instantly affects the other. Einstein famously called this spooky action at a distance, but in the holographic universe, it makes perfect sense. If reality is a projection of a deeper, interconnected field, then everything, your thoughts, emotions, and even the world around you, is part of the same vast system of energy. The separation we perceive is just a trick of perception. Think of it like this. Imagine two people who have spent years together, deeply bonded. Have you ever noticed how they sometimes finish each other's sentences or instinctively know when something is wrong? That's a small-scale example of universal interconnectedness, operating beyond conventional explanations. Studies on telepathy and psychic phenomena suggest that human minds may also be entangled in ways science is only beginning to understand. This would explain why identical twins often report experiencing the same emotions despite being continents apart, or why some people can sense when a loved one is in distress. Now, what if this principle applies not just to people, but to reality itself? If particles are inherently connected, then events, thoughts, and outcomes may not be as random as they seem. This is where synchronicity, a term coined by Carl Jung, comes into play. Have you ever thought about someone you haven't seen in years, only for them to call you moments later? Coincidence? Or evidence that your consciousness is influencing the frequency of your reality? If everything is entangled, then reality projection is not just an abstract idea. It might be an actual mechanism by which thoughts shape experiences. But how does this relate to experiences that completely defy logic, like paranormal phenomena? Paranormal phenomena explained through the holographic model. If reality is just a holographic projection, then what we call paranormal phenomena might not be supernatural at all, just misunderstood aspects of how consciousness interacts with this vast field of energy. Take poltergeist activity, for instance. Many cases revolve around individuals going through extreme emotional distress, particularly teenagers. Traditional explanations dismiss this as hysteria. But what if their emotions are triggering psychokinesis, an ability to affect physical objects through mental energy? If the mind is deeply connected to reality at a quantum level, then moments of heightened emotion might amplify this connection, leading to unexplained physical disturbances. The same logic applies to near-death experiences, NDEs. Countless individuals report floating outside their bodies, seeing their lives flash before their eyes, or entering realms of light and unconditional love. Neuroscientists struggle to explain these experiences purely through brain chemistry, but the holographic universe model suggests that during such events, the brain momentarily tunes into a different frequency, allowing consciousness to access a multidimensional reality beyond ordinary perception. This could explain why people who undergo NDEs often return with heightened intuition, increased empathy, and even reports of telepathic or precognitive abilities. Even the placebo effect and its darker counterpart, the nocebo effect, align with this theory. If belief alone can heal or harm the body, then the mind is clearly more powerful than mainstream science acknowledges. Could it be that belief doesn't just influence the body, but also the projection of reality itself? If so, those who learn to harness their consciousness properly might tap into abilities that seem miraculous, manifesting desired outcomes, influencing probability, or even shifting their perception to a different version of reality altogether. And that raises an even bigger question. If we can shape reality with our minds, how much power do we truly have over our own lives? The power of consciousness in shaping reality. If the holographic universe model is correct, then consciousness is not just a passive observer of reality, it's an active force shaping it. This idea is not new. Ancient traditions have long taught that reality is a Maya illusion, and modern science is finally catching up. Quantum physics suggests that the act of observation itself influences outcomes, meaning that what we focus on becomes manifest in the world around us. This explains why people who practice reality manifestation, whether through visualization, meditation, or belief, often achieve results that defy logic. If thoughts carry frequency, then tuning into the right energy may literally alter the material world. Consider the stories of people who experience spontaneous self-healing. From cancer patients who go into remission after adopting a new mindset to those who recover from injuries faster than expected, there is growing evidence that the brain has the ability to influence the body at a profound level. The placebo effect proves this. Belief alone can activate healing responses in the body. But the same principle applies beyond health. Synchronicity, that eerie alignment of events, suggests that what we think and feel sends ripples through reality, drawing experiences that match our inner world. Those who obsess over failure tend to experience it, while those who cultivate a sense of certainty often find doors opening effortlessly. So, how do you use this to your advantage? Start by paying attention to the frequency of your thoughts. Are they based on fear and limitation, or are they aligned with possibility and growth? Experiment with lucid dreaming, where you train your mind to recognize its own illusions, because waking life might not be so different. Engage in practices that elevate your state of consciousness, like meditation or creative visualization, and watch how reality begins to shift. But if our minds hold this much power, what happens when someone understands these secrets fully, only to leave this world too soon? Michael Talbot's legacy and the mystery of his death. Michael Talbot was more than just a writer. He was a visionary who dared to challenge the very fabric of what we call reality. His book, The Holographic Universe, bridged the gap between quantum physics, neuroscience, and ancient mystical traditions, showing that the hologram theory could explain not just the material world, but also psychic phenomena, telepathy, and even reality manifestation. He took the works of David Bohm and Carl Pribram and transformed them into something accessible, inspiring thousands to reconsider the nature of consciousness. Yet, just a year after publishing his groundbreaking work, he was gone, leaving behind a legacy and a mystery. His death in 1992, at the age of 38, seemed almost poetic. A man who had unraveled the illusion of reality was taken from it far too soon. Was it simply a tragic case of illness, Or was there something more? Many of those who study multidimensional reality speculate that individuals who uncover deep truths often meet untimely ends, whether through unexplained accidents, sudden illnesses, or other bizarre circumstances. Talbot himself suffered from an aggressive form of leukemia, yet his writings suggest he understood that death might not be an end, but merely a transition to another layer of existence. Did his deep exploration of the holographic universe allow him to glimpse beyond the veil? Even now, his work continues to influence those who seek to understand the deeper mechanisms of universal interconnectedness. His insights into synchronicity, energy fields, and altered states of consciousness have only gained more credibility with recent advances in quantum physics and neuroscience. If reality is indeed a projection, then what happens when we pass beyond it? Do we simply dissolve into the infinite, or do we shift into another state of perception? And more importantly, if Talbot was right, how can we use this knowledge to reshape our own lives while we're still here? If reality is a projection, if our consciousness is the key to shaping it, then what's stopping you from taking control? Think about it. If Michael Talbot was right, then the limits you experience aren't real. They're just patterns of perception, illusions embedded in the very fabric of this holographic universe. You've seen how quantum entanglement proves that everything is connected, how synchronicity suggests that your thoughts influence reality, and how even science acknowledges the power of belief through the placebo effect. So, the real question is, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Will you continue living as if reality is something that happens to you? Or will you start experimenting, training your consciousness, questioning your assumptions, and testing the boundaries of what's possible? Maybe it starts with lucid dreaming, where you take control of the dream world and realize that waking life might not be so different. Maybe it's meditation, visualization, or simply paying attention to the strange coincidences in your life. The holographic nature of reality suggests that your frequency dictates your experience. So what kind of experience are you tuning into?